Conversations with Marc and Devi, the mediums. Marc Stuart, the Scottish medium. Devi Wolf, the smallest medium. Conversations on topical subjects. On subjects other mediums would not dare talk about, but we do. The Marc Stuart Medium Network, demonstrating, discussing, and training in Scottish-style mediumship.
Hello again.
Hi, everybody. Long time.
I know. I mean, Devi, do you realise this is the first conversation video that we've done in 2026?
It is, and it's February. So our apologies to everybody.
I'm not apologising. I'm not apologising to anybody.
Oh, he doesn't apologize for anything. But January has been 6 years long, it seems, and so many things that have been going wrong that
Well, first off, Christmas got in the way.
Well, that too. So we shut down obviously for the Christmas holidays.
We had great plans of starting at the beginning of January. We really did have great plans, but unfortunately, just one thing on either side of the Atlantic. Big secret. Devi likes doing things with drums. So do you want to tell them, or do I have to expose you?
You don't have to expose. I'm a drummer. I play the djembe, and it makes me happy. And he thinks I drummed all of this snow into existence.
She told me that she was going to look. We've got Kim, who's joined us, who lives in Florida, and the two of them biting, making fun of each other about the temperature, and they make fun of me because I can't convert Fahrenheit into centigrade. I mean, over here in Europe and Britain, we're centigrade, not Fahrenheit. Anyway, so the story goes that Kim said, Devi, go and drum up some good weather. So I've got pictures of Devi in Native American outfits, you know, the wigwam in her garden, and she's got the drums out and she's got the pipes and all the rest of it. And she's expecting the sun in the morning, and instead she wakens up to the snow.
We get snow and ice. No, I did not do that. But we did, in fact, get a lot of snow and ice. Our power went out for several days, and our internet went out for several days, and it was pretty cold.
So that was my excuse, because I just didn't feel up to doing it by myself. Devi had that. Another big thing that's been going on. You know that I don't have a business card to show you, but my business card is actually quite funny when I hand it to people in Scotland. Because on one side it's got Marc Stuart, the Scottish medium, then they turn it over, and on the other side it says Marc Stuart, the practice manager for the Pennycook Podiatrist Clinic. Well, that's a little bit out of date. Now, don't start any rumours, Debbie. I'm still going to be a medium, but it's no longer practice manager for the Pennycook Podiatrist Clinic. It's now practice manager for the Pennycook and Peebles Podiatrist Clinic.
Yes.
So there's clinics. But then over the Christmas holidays, while everybody was having a nice, quiet, relaxed time, it went to 3 clinics. And then over the last 4 weeks, we've taken it down to 2 clinics.
Crazy.
Another local podiatrist last year approached us. I mean, it was a wee bit more of a conversation than just here's the keys to my clinic. But we got this patient phone us up, elderly patient, in a blind panic. My podiatrist is resigning and I need to get an appointment for next. Okay, fine. So we got her booked up. But I want to stay with my existing podiatrist until Christmas. Fine. So who's your podiatrist? So I phoned him up. And his exact words were, thank God you're phoning me. I was about to phone you this afternoon. Can we meet up for coffee? So we did. Talked for about half an hour, and he basically said, look, I am sick and tired of this. I'm in my 70s. I am retiring. Here's the keys to my clinic.
Nice.
Yeah. Except we're all computerized to the nth degree. And he basically booked everybody into a paper diary. So I spent the first 2 weeks of the year phoning everybody, changing the dates of the appointments, getting them all booked up. And we've spent the last 4 weeks meeting all these new patients and explaining to them why we want them to have a mobile phone number, why we want them to have an email, and why in the 26th year of the 21st century, to say that they don't want to give us their email or their mobile phone number just doesn't work anymore, because if we don't have that, you can't get booked for your podiatrist. So that's just been an enormous amount of work. And to be honest, another slight complication, with all of that going on, Ying and I, we've been talking about this, but you knew that we were planning on moving down to the borders. Well, we had a really bad storm. You know how we were talking about Devi and her drums and the bad weather? Well,
I did
this
that one on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, she did this one on purpose. It came across the Atlantic, hit the west coast of Scotland, and then worked its way across the west coast of Scotland to where we were buying the flat. Now, we had actually got the lawyers and all the rest of it to get the keys. I can't remember the date, but halfway through November. And
in America, that's called closing day. Yeah.
Yeah, closing date. So I'm driving home from the clinic, which is about an hour's drive. And I get a phone call from the mortgage advisor. Mark, you better look on Facebook. Why? Because the roof's blown off the barn. It's a bit difficult to describe it. The flat's on 2 levels, what we would call the first floor and the second floor, or what you would call the second floor and the third floor. And what we would call the ground floor, what you call the first floor, is a bar. And it's a big bar and it's very popular, so everybody knows where it is. And all I have to say is, oh, I live above the Central Bar in Peebles. And they look at me as, you're living above a bar? Yes. Anyway, put that aside. The roof is blown off the Central Bar, which basically means the roof is blown off my apartment that we were just buying. So get home, check it. It's not quite the roof blowing off. The tiles are being blown off the roof and they're coming down on the road, and it's quite a busy road. So the council's closed the road with big headlines all over Facebook. So next day, instead of closing, I drive down to go and speak to the sellers. Hi there. Removal company to go away this morning. We kind of assumed that you wouldn't be moving. We wouldn't be buying. I said, yeah, you kind of assumed that, right? So, I mean, just think about it. If we had bought it, my first phone call to the insurance company on the first day would have been, hello, can I have a new roof, please?
Yeah, new roof on day one. I love it. Yeah, that's no good.
Even if we didn't get reported to the police for fraud, I mean, we wouldn't have, because the roof had collapsed.
Right.
But premiums would have gone like that.
Yeah, premiums would have gone crazy. Yeah.
It's actually worked out quite good, because it's a bit difficult to describe without showing you pictures, but basically there's 4 big windows that stick out of the top floor, which is an attic conversion.
Like dormer windows?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for. So 4 big dormer windows, only one of them. So one of them, they've got flat roofs and the wind picked it up and all the tiles came flying down like that. So the insurance company said, look, while you're doing that for the one dormer window, do it for all 4. So we're actually going to get improvements on the roof, even though we're still driving. We're now driving an hour and a half because it's an extra half hour from Pennycook to Peebles.
So
I am, between the extra workload and what's going on and not moving home, I am like this.
Mark has been crazy busy in January. Absolutely crazy busy.
Yeah. It's just got to the point where I don't even know what I'm doing one day to the next. Never mind thinking about what are we talking about in mediumship this week, this Wednesday.
Yes, so, I think there was a day he forgot too.
Yeah, literally
forgot.
I mean, basically, we've gone from the clinic being open 3.5 to 4 days a week to the 2 clinics being open 5 days a week. I mean, to put this in perspective, we had our Peebles clinic had only been open for about 4 months before this all started to happen. We were doing an average of about 30 to 35 appointments a month, which I'm quite happy with because that's brand new. We're now doing 100 appointments a month.
Oh, wow.
So we've now got, and that's half of what we're doing in Pennycook, which has been open for 4 years.
Right.
So effectively, we'll be hovering around 250 to 300 appointments a month. So my workload is like that. And then to even complicate things even further, the podiatrist that we employ has cut her hours down in half because she's gone to work for the NHS part-time. So my wife, who only used to work part-time, with me screaming at her on a yearly basis, darling, please, please, please come into the business. Darling, you got to... So she's now resigned from the NHS. And we're still married, don't worry.
Barely, huh?
Well, she sort of sits for 1 day a week and makes more money in that 1 week than she makes in the remaining that 1 day than she makes in the remaining 4 days for the NHS. It doesn't kind of take me as the accountant too long to
figure that out. Yeah, no, I get it.
We're beyond you worrying about whether this is working or not. We've kind of got to the point that if you're not here. So anyway, she's coming full-time to work in the business. Only she decided that she wants to do a PhD and a research project at the same time. So
Oh
that's
dear.
exciting.
That's
And,
news to me. Yeah, that's going to be crazy.
and you know who's the numbers guy sitting behind all of this?
Right.
That's all been going on in January, getting ready for all of this starting this month. So apologies. That's the excuse. There's a lot
We'll try
happening.
not to do it again. How's that?
Yeah, we'll tell you in the next broadcast all the changes that we're going to make. But essentially, from now, well, I suppose we'll go into more details in the other one, but we're making a lot of changes. We're not streaming this live anymore, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail, and we're making it much shorter.
Yes.
So that's us.
So you don't have to sit through a whole half hour of us blabbing.
Yeah. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.